art or music over Zoom.
Yeah, here we have
an art or music
a small
program.
demonstration
Try
talking about
socializing able-bodied and disabled
the
children
programs
together,
in America.
locked behind a video screen. Try
So
asking
here
a
we
kid
are
how their
talking
day
about
was,
programs
knowing
in
every
America.
day during this
You know,
lockdown is the same for them.
Children don't have no
In
access
much
to
of the country and
internet.
many parts of the
A
world,
lot of
governments
homeless.
have tried to reopen schools, but simply cannot due to two factors. One, the height of COVID and the sheer destruction of people who create the real wealth in society. And two, the threat of teachers walking out. In New York City, we are currently set apart from the rest of the country. The curve has flattened. But now we face a new pressure. Right now, a hybrid model is being pushed. Some days in person, some days without. Classes are supposed to be socially distanced with the option to learn virtually. And right now, the current threshold for schools to open or close is 3% new cases in COVID. And I want to add that Cuomo was originally proposing schools to open under 5% and that they close at 10%. Interesting how that's been changed. So I have a few questions to ask de Blasio and Cuomo. Is there going to be more staff to handle this hybrid system? To make sure kids have an online teacher and teachers in person? Will we even have more facilities to use in this case? Will there be more nurses to take care of sick kids? What's the protocol for contact tracing or vaccines? Will there be more paraprofessionals to help children with their individual needs coming out of lockdown and separated from their friends? And on that note, Bill de Blasio, how do you tell a 6-year-old to socially distance? How do you tell them that they can't be near their friend, that they can't hug their friend, that they haven't seen for 6 months? What should the teacher do in that case? Should they scold them? Should they discipline them? Should they turn maybe to those new cops that you just put in to the school system? Should the children be disciplined then if they don't comply? Should we send the cops to truant children's homes? Because the thing is, from what I've seen, you and the city council passed a budget cut of $182 million, and teachers are expecting layoffs inside the schools and outside staff. And here I am, an after-school teacher who had to take personally 4-hour trainings on how to take care of a child's mental health during a natural disaster. This is entirely unacceptable. Is this the situation de Blasio means when he paints Black Lives Matter on a street? Frankly, we need to judge our politicians more by the budgets they pass and the infrastructure they put forward. $1 billion was cut from the NYPD and put towards the DOE, towards school cops. But how about this? How about instead of more cops, we use that money to hire trained, high-quality counselors to take care of the mental and emotional impact our children are experiencing? How about free internet access to every New Yorker? We have community centers. We have roofs. We even have this park right here. Why don't we use those parks? And you've seen those private public parks at the buildings of the rich and the banks. Why don't we use those to teach our children? If Chase Bank teach all of our 1 million students, if Chase Bank and Goldman Sachs doesn't like black and brown kids learning in front of their buildings, teachers, staff, and working families should tell them too bad, because that's what we're investing in. We're investing in our children. We're investing in our future. I'm a member of Socialist Alternative, and we call to defund the police by at least 50%. The thing is, this will not be enough to fund what is really needed, which is a massive new jobs program in the face of an economic downturn. To do that, we will need to tax the ones that created this crisis in the first place. We need to tax the hell out of Wall Street, the biggest businesses of New York, and all 118 billionaire families, a third of whom, by the way, donated to Cuomo's campaign. This, however, is going to need to take an organized fight back from our communities. In 2018, the world was in awe of the audacity of the West Virginia teachers to go on strike illegally. This inspired teachers in so-called red states to fight and win pay raises, not just for them, but also other public staff. This has inspired workplaces in the US and across the world to go on strike. And Japan right now Nova language teachers are on strike over inadequate PPE and unsafe work conditions. And just a few days ago, the American Federation of Teachers authorized strikes for its over 1.7 million members over the question of safety. Tomorrow there is a National Day of Educators and Teachers saying, reopen when it's safe. If our workplaces are not safe, if we don't have masks or shields, and if we're forced to work in cramped spaces, if we don't get hazard pay, we should bring all ourselves and all of our coworkers and walk the hell out. Working people who make the real value in society, we should support every single workplace going on strike and walking out over this question of safety. We should only open when it's safe. In many ways, this pandemic has forced us to re-examine just how we imagine education and public safety. What is the purpose of these issues in a society that values corporate profits over human lives, especially black and brown children's lives? What we need is a real plan that serves the needs of teachers and staff too scared to go to work, working parents, some of whom struggling to find work or pay the bills, too scared that their kids will fall behind, and the students left to wonder if this is all the world has to offer to them. We should not fall for the tricks of the ruling class to pit teachers and working families apart. We should be calling for democratic safety committees where teachers, parents, and students decide together what is really safe and what will truly benefit our communities. We should be inspired by George Floyd in teaching us that mass movements can truly change the world. In our fights, we will reimagine public safety as we know it. We will reimagine education as we know it. And we'll expose the forces of our current society. And by organizing, we will show our voices and our bodies, with our voices and our bodies, what working people truly value. Thank you.
Okay, next we're going to have Algier. He is a hospital worker and a parent of this kid that's in our public school system.
Yeah, so I'm going to end this video. Okay, thank you for watching my YouTube channel, and thank you for your time, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you again. This is an issue about American education system, especially in New York State, and that was discussed. Thank you.